Now listen, ladies. I'm going to give it to you real, just like I would if I were sitting on that Steve Harvey morning show or standing on a Family Feud stage with a microphone in my hand. Let's talk about this thing. When a man stops calling, stops texting, goes radio silent, believe it or not, it means something. And I don't care what kind of excuses he gives or what stories you try to tell yourself, his silence is speaking loud and clear. Believe it or not, when he don't call you and don't send a message, it means something. It's not just a coincidence. It's not always about him being busy, and it's not just life getting in the way. It's a message. Silence is a message. And it often says more than words ever could. See, as women, you've been conditioned to analyze everything, to look between the lines, to search for the hidden meaning. But sometimes there's nothing hidden at all. Sometimes the truth is in what's missing. If a man stops calling, if he stops texting, if you find yourself constantly waiting for your phone to light up and it never does, then baby, you already got your answer. When a man is interested in you, you will know it, not because you're hoping or guessing, but because his actions make it plain. A man who's into you doesn't leave you wondering. He makes sure you know. He reaches out. He checks on you. He listens to you. He keeps the connection going because he values it. A man in love with a woman will move mountains just to hear her voice. He'll send a message just to make her smile. And if that's not happening, then it's not happening. It doesn't take a whole committee of your girlfriends to sit around trying to figure out why he's quiet. Because the truth is, if he wanted to talk to you, he would. If he wanted to see you, he would. If you mattered to him the way you should, he would show it. I know that's hard to hear. I know some part of you wants to believe it's something else. You want to think he's just stressed or distracted or going through something. And maybe he is. But even in those times, when a man truly cares, he finds a way to let you know. He finds a way to keep you close. When a man goes silent, it's not always about what's going on in his world. It's about where you stand in his world. And if you have to chase down his attention, you're already running in the wrong direction. There's this little voice in the back of your head that tells you, maybe you did something wrong. Maybe you shouldn't have said that thing. Maybe you texted too much. Maybe you cared too fast. But let me tell you something. The right man doesn't get scared off by affection. The right man doesn't get overwhelmed by communication. The right man leans in when you lean in. He meets your energy. He shows up. He doesn't back off and leave you unread. That kind of behavior, that silence, that's not your fault. That's a reflection of his interest or lack of it. Men are not as complicated as we try to make them out to be. When they want something, they go for it. That's how they're built. That's how they operate. So if he's not going for you, if he's not calling, not checking in, not making an effort, it means he's either not ready, not serious, or not into it. And none of those reasons are good enough for you to keep waiting around. Because you are worth more than unanswered messages. You are worth more than guessing games. You are worth more than waiting by the phone for someone who already knows your number but won't use it. The problem is we don't want to believe that silence means goodbye. We want closure. We want explanations. We want a conversation. But not every chapter ends with a discussion. Sometimes silence is the ending. Sometimes the fact that he stopped calling is the period at the end of your sentence. And it doesn't mean you're not good enough. It means you're too good to sit in the dark, waiting for someone who already stepped out of the room. Let's talk about energy for a second. You only have so much to give in a day, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You are a resource. When you're spending your energy worrying about why he hasn't called, checking your phone, rereading old messages, waiting for a reply that never comes, you're draining yourself. You're pouring energy into someone who's giving you nothing back. That's not love. That's not balance. That's not healthy. That's settling. And I know you weren't made to settle. You were made to be loved out loud. You were made to be appreciated. You were made to be seen, heard, and felt. And if a man can't give you that, if he can't even pick up the phone to send a thinking of you message, then what are you really holding on to? A memory? A maybe? A fantasy? That's not love. That's longing. That's fear of letting go. But I promise you this, real love doesn't leave you in confusion. Real love doesn't disappear. Real love shows up every single time. So believe it. When he doesn't call you, when he doesn't message you, it means something. It means he's not choosing you. It means you're not a priority. It means he's made a decision. And even if he didn't say it with words, he said it with silence. And the longer you pretend not to hear it, the longer you delay your own healing. You deserve someone who chooses you, someone who reaches out, someone who can't go a day without hearing your voice, someone who checks in, not out. You deserve consistency, not confusion. You deserve clarity, not chaos. And you deserve to be someone's choice, not their option. So the next time he goes quiet, don't chase him. Don't beg. Don't ask why. Just understand what that silence means and walk away with your dignity intact. Because silence, when it's coming from someone who once claimed to care, is not just empty space. It's a loud message. And it's telling you exactly what you need to know. Believe it or not, when he don't call you and don't send a message, it means something deep. But it's not always about being busy or caught up in life. When a man goes quiet, it speaks louder than any words could. A man doesn't just stop calling the woman he truly wants. He doesn't forget to check in with the woman who is on his mind. That silence isn't random. That delay isn't accidental. If a man truly values you, you won't have to ask, beg, or wonder. His effort will be there. His voice will be heard. His presence will be felt. When a man is into you, he makes time. He doesn't make excuses. He finds a way, not a reason why he can't. If he's serious about you, even on his busiest days, he's going to send that message. He's going to make that call because you matter. And when someone matters, there's no such thing as being too busy. People prioritize what they care about. They make time for what's important to them. So if he's not calling, not texting, not reaching out, it means he's placing you outside that circle of importance. Sometimes you sit and convince yourself he's just going through something, that he'll come around, that maybe you're being too needy. You excuse the silence. You tell yourself to be patient, but deep down you feel it. That quiet isn't peace. It's distance. And your heart knows when something is off. A woman's intuition is strong, but when feelings are involved, she'll ignore it just to keep hope alive. You'll go over the last conversation, wonder if you said too much, if you came on too strong. You'll overthink and twist yourself in knots, trying to justify his behavior. But the truth is, a man who wants you won't leave you in doubt. He won't leave space for confusion. Men aren't complicated. They move in the direction of what they want. When they want you, you feel it. When they don't, you feel that too. You know when someone is pulling away. You know when they've stopped trying. And instead of holding on tighter, you have to learn to let go. Not for him, but for you. For your peace, for your self-worth, for your emotional health. You have to know that the man who can't even be bothered to send a text is not someone you should be investing your time and energy in. That kind of silence is a decision. It's not indecision. It's not confusion. It's a choice. He's choosing not to speak, not to reach out, not to be present. And that choice tells you exactly where you stand. You shouldn't have to beg for basic communication. You shouldn't be anxiously checking your phone, hoping today's the day he finally remembers you exist. That's not what love feels like. That's not what mutual interest feels like. That's what it feels like when you're holding on to someone who already let go. You tell yourself, maybe he's just a bad communicator. Maybe he's not good with phones. But he's on Instagram. He's online. He's replying to other people. The truth is, when someone wants to talk to you, they find a way. They'll call on their lunch break. They'll message during their commute. They'll send a quick note before bed. It's not about being perfect. It's about being present. And someone who can't do the minimum doesn't deserve your maximum. There's power in walking away from someone who makes you feel unsure. There's power in not texting first, not checking up, not chasing someone who's made it clear they're not chasing you. You're not here to prove your worth to anyone. Your consistency is not something to be wasted on a man who responds with silence. It's not rejection that hurts the most. It's holding on to someone who already moved on emotionally. You're not asking for too much. You're asking the wrong person. A man who truly wants you won't go quiet. He won't disappear. He won't need space to figure out if you matter. He'll already know. And even if things get hard, even if life gets in the way, he will still reach out. Because connection doesn't get paused when it's real. Love doesn't shut down when it's honest. When he doesn't call, doesn't text, doesn't check in, you have to believe what that silence is telling you. It's saying more than he ever will with words. You deserve communication. You deserve consistency. You deserve effort. You deserve to wake up to messages from someone who's excited to talk to you. You deserve someone who doesn't let days go by without checking on you. When he's silent, believe him. When he disappears, believe him. And when he doesn't make you feel like a priority, don't stay and make him yours. Let the silence speak. And more importantly, let it set you free. Believe it or not, when he doesn't call you and doesn't send a message, it's not just about a missed call or a forgotten text. It's a reflection of where you stand in his life. You can tell a lot about a man by how present he is when he's not physically with you. If days go by and you haven't heard from him, that's not just distance, that's a decision. That silence you're hearing, that's him communicating something without even speaking. That's him showing you his level of effort, interest, and intention. And no matter how badly you want to believe otherwise, a man who truly wants you in his life will never go silent long enough to make you question your place in it. Sometimes you get caught in this emotional loop, trying to explain his silence in ways that make it feel less personal. You tell yourself, maybe he's tired. Maybe he's busy. Maybe something came up. And while life does get hectic, a man who values you always finds a moment to let you know he's thinking about you. It doesn't take a grand gesture or long conversation. Sometimes all it takes is a simple, hey, just thinking about you. If he's not doing even that, then that silence is speaking volume. A man's silence isn't always about something being wrong. It's about him not feeling the need to show up. When a man wants you, he doesn't go missing. When a man is serious, he doesn't take breaks from connection. And if he does, if he chooses not to call, not to message, and not to communicate at all, he's telling you that he's okay with distance. He's telling you that your presence is not urgent or necessary to him. And that kind of truth, while painful, is also powerful because it sets you free from waiting, wondering, and hoping. You don't need to send another follow-up message. You don't need to remind him you exist. You don't need to give him excuses he's not even asking for. What you need is to listen to what his actions are telling you. When someone cares, they show it. When someone misses you, they say it. When someone loves you, they don't disappear, they show up, even in the small ways. They stay in touch even when life is full. They make time even when time is short. There's a natural instinct to question yourself when someone pulls away. You start thinking maybe you were too available. Maybe you said too much. Maybe you expected too much. But real love doesn't crumble under communication. A real man doesn't back away when you open up. The right one won't be scared off by your effort. He'll meet it. He'll appreciate it. He'll return it. Silence is not a sign of maturity or space. It's not a form of strength. It's a form of absence. And no matter what anyone tells you, love is not built on absence. It's built on presence, effort, and consistency. Every time you let that silence linger, and every time you justify his lack of communication, you're lowering your standards. You're telling yourself it's okay to be treated as an afterthought. But you're not an afterthought. You're someone who deserves love that's clear, communication that's consistent, and effort that's real. You deserve someone who checks in, not someone you have to chase down for a reply. You deserve a man who doesn't let silence stretch so long that it turns into emotional distance. A man who truly loves you will never make you feel invisible. He won't let you lie in bed wondering why your phone hasn't lit up. He won't leave you hanging. And even if he's not good with words, even if he's not great at expressing feelings, he will still find a way to connect. He'll find a way to let you know that you're not alone in the relationship. Silence, when it's chosen, is a form of detachment. And if someone chooses detachment, you have the right to choose your dignity and walk away. There's strength in recognizing when someone's silence is no longer peaceful but painful. There's power in realizing that the man you're waiting on may not be the man who's meant for you. And there's healing in letting go of the version of him you created in your mind. You don't need to beg for attention. You don't need to hold on tighter when someone is letting go. You need to trust that if a man truly wants you in his life, he'll make sure you never feel the sting of his absence. When he doesn't call and doesn't message, don't fill in the blanks with fantasy, fill them with truth. Let his silence tell you what he won't. Let his distance show you the reality. And let that be enough to remind yourself that you're worthy of more. You are not here to convince someone to care. You are here to be loved effortlessly and completely. And if he can't do that, then his silence is giving you the answer you've been waiting for. Believe it or not, when he doesn't call you and doesn't send a message, it's not because he forgot, and it's not because life got too busy. It's because he's making a choice not to. And that choice, whether intentional or not, reveals the truth about where you stand with him. Communication is never that hard when someone really wants to reach out. We live in a world where people have their phones in their hands all day long. A man who cares will find 2 seconds to say, "Hey, I'm thinking about you," or "I'll call you later." When he doesn't, it means you're not on his mind the way you should be. You might not want to believe that. You may try to justify it by saying he's just not good at expressing himself, that he needs space, that men don't communicate the same way women do. And while some of that may be true in certain cases, the deeper truth remains. When a man wants to reach out, he will. It won't matter if he's tired, busy, or unsure. He will still find a way to let you know you matter to him. Silence is a decision. When a man chooses not to call, not to text, and not to check in, he is choosing to let the connection fade. That's not love. That's not affection. That's indifference. So many women sit in confusion, waiting on someone to send that message, to show they care, to come back with an explanation. But the thing is, silence often is the explanation. When a man is invested in you, you won't have to wonder. You won't sit around overanalyzing his lack of effort. He'll make it clear. He'll pursue. He'll communicate. When he stops doing that, he's showing you that the connection isn't important to him anymore. And the more you chase him, the more he pulls away. Because a man who isn't ready or willing to give you effort will always resent being pressured into it. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking you need to do more. You feel that if you say the right thing, send one more thoughtful message, or show more patience, maybe he'll come around. But effort is never what scares off the right man. The right man won't disappear when you show care. He'll step forward, not back. So if he's silent, if he's distant, if he's giving you nothing, it's not a cue for you to do more. It's your sign to do less. Pull back. Reclaim your energy. Let his absence make space for your clarity. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be loved and communicated with. There's nothing wrong with expecting a man to stay in touch and show basic interest. That's not being needy. That's being emotionally mature. You can't keep lowering the bar for someone just because you hope he'll meet you halfway. If a man can go days or weeks without speaking to you and it doesn't bother him, that speaks volumes. That silence says exactly what you don't want to hear, that he's not emotionally invested. You deserve a man who doesn't leave you waiting, a man who doesn't let you wonder where you stand, someone who's proud to reach out, to check on you, to hear your voice, not just when it's convenient for him, but because he genuinely wants to. A man who doesn't have to be reminded that you exist, because when it's real, when a man truly values a woman, communication becomes natural. It doesn't feel like a chore. It doesn't feel like pressure. It feels right. You can't force someone to care. You can't send enough texts or make enough calls to turn a man into the one he's not trying to be. If he's not calling, not texting, not showing up, it's not your job to fill the gap. It's your job to recognize it and ask yourself why you're tolerating it. Sometimes you have to stop asking why he's not calling and start asking why you're still waiting for him to. You're not too much. You're not too emotional. You're not expecting too much. You're asking the wrong person to give you something he's not capable or willing to give. And that's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of his intentions. A man who loves you will want to stay connected. He'll make you feel chosen, not like an option. He won't make you question whether or not you're important in his life. That phone that's staying silent is holding a message you need to hear. It's telling you the truth he won't say out loud. It's telling you where his priorities are. And instead of holding on tighter, maybe it's time you loosen your grip. Stop checking your phone. Stop replaying old conversations. Start paying attention to what's happening now, not what you wish was happening. When he doesn't call and doesn't message, don't fill in the blanks with hope. Fill them with truth. His silence isn't just silence, it's information. And that information can set you free from wondering, from waiting, from wasting your energy. You deserve someone who keeps showing up. Not someone who disappears when things aren't easy or when his interest fades. Someone who calls, someone who texts, someone who makes you feel like you matter every single day without you having to ask.